What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel. And well, today we found out that Manchester City have a concrete interest in West Ham captain Declan Rice. Pandemonium. Everybody's a little bit freaked out by it. Are you finding yourself stressed and concerned? Here's some of the things that I've heard people saying. This is our fault. If we'd offered West Ham enough money, they would have taken it. We've dallied too long. Edu's a waste of space. He doesn't know what he's doing. And now Declan Rice has not just Arsenal to choose from, but also Man City. And they're definitely going to turn his head. And who wouldn't want to play for Man City? They're going to win the next 10 leagues in a row. And let's examine some actual truth, shall we? Let's all calm down a little bit. First and foremost, there is no amount of money that West Ham would have accepted from Arsenal, knowing that Man City were potentially interested, knowing that Man United were potentially interested. It is just not in their best interest to take a bid. So let's imagine we'd gone in with a 100 million offer. The argument seems to be, well, West Ham would have bitten our hand off. And then we would have had Declan Rice and he'd never need to find out that Man City were interested in him. If we'd had a £100 million bid for Declan Rice accepted, 100 million up front, all in cash, no add-ons. If West Ham had accepted that, Man City would now be swooping in and offering it as well. That's the truth. They've been monitoring the situation to see how it goes. Partly, I am assuming, to figure out what West Ham actually want. Now, the same is true the other way, by the way. If Man City go in and have an offer accepted at 100 million... then at least we know what we've got to offer. Then you put this deal in front of Declan Rice, and as has always been the case, Declan Rice gets to choose. Declan Rice is a hot prospect. He plays in a position that is much sought after by many teams. He is a potential captain of almost any side. The fact that Arsenal, Man United, and everyone, Man City, Chelsea, wants Declan Rice is because Declan Rice is a great player. Now, we've all been given to understand for a long time that Declan Rice has committed himself. So the only way this doesn't work is if Man City put in a bid that's too high for us to match. It's quite possible. It's also quite possible that they could offer him more in salary than we possibly can. There's nothing you can do about that. This is not Edu's fault. If we'd bid 100 million or 110 million, West Ham would not have accepted it. We know that already. The Guardian already did a piece about how before the transfer window, it was indicated to us at Arsenal that West Ham would be looking for around 80 million. Now, I know in the papers they were talking about 120 million, but let's say it goes to 120 million. I don't think either Man City or Arsenal need to get into a bidding war. I don't think Manchester United are in this one. So the reality is nothing's really changed. Declan Rice has not just woken up today to find out Man City are interested in him. They would have had conversations with him. We saw Bayern Munich pull out of this because they felt he'd already decided to go to Arsenal. Now, do Man City think they can turn his head? Yeah, and I think if there's one team out there that probably you would expect to be able to turn his head, it's arguably the best team in world football. The team that's just won the treble. Declan Rice said, you only get one career, and at the end you want to look back at what you've won and the biggest games you've played. I can't argue as an Arsenal fan that it doesn't make slightly more sense in terms of winning trophies to go to Man City. But I can say this, it is not a foregone conclusion. Manchester City would have to win 4 in a row if they're going to win the next Premier League. I'm not saying they can't do it, I'm saying it just hasn't been done. They are losing Ilkay Gundogan to Barcelona as expected. Almost certainly losing Bernardo Silva. They've signed Kovacic. That team is a little bit different from the team that played last season. And of course, the season before they lost people. There is a transition happening at Manchester City. Arsenal will need to improve for a title challenge this season, but not by a huge amount. Declan Rice could very well be that difference. Declan Rice has known for a long time that he can pick his teams. I don't know what it is about Arteta, but he certainly is able to inspire players to believe in his process, his vision. There is a familial atmosphere being built up at our team, and he has expressed, he gets on well with lots of our players, and I think if you're a player like Declan Rice, play alongside Rodri, with Kevin De Bruyne in the team and Haaland up front, it's unlikely he would be becoming a captain of that team anytime soon. At Arsenal, he just fits better. He makes a bigger difference. And all of the last couple of months has been about him deciding on Arsenal just because he didn't know he could go to Man City. Well, this is a terrible shame that someone's told him, because now he will inevitably go there. I just don't see it. I think Declan Rice is a character. And I am going to say this. If we don't end up signing Declan Rice, it's hard for me to imagine what Eddie was supposed to do differently. Whatever agreement we came to West Ham with, Man City would have come in. Chelsea may still come in. They've got this scam going on now where they can sell players to Saudi and get them off their books, and so they can't buy any more duds, or players can't be a loss for Chelsea anymore. So they have the money to come in. Plus, we've just given them money for Kai Havertz, which Declan Rice has known since at least January that he was going to be leaving. Arguably, since he turned down a 200 grand a week contract to leave 18 months ago. He has known for 18 months. Now, whilst I'm not saying he's known for that whole time where he wants to play, he's definitely given it some thought. And the nonsense idea that never occurred to him that Man City would be in for him, frankly, is ridiculous. So, what's really happened is we've probably found ourselves in a situation where there's a bit more clarity. Whatever Man City offer, West Ham can accept or decline. Should they decline it, why would we go up any further? We could just wait and see what Man City offer, and like I said before, offer the exact same amount. It will come down to Declan Rice. If Man City win in from that point, I'm going to say this, we're Arsenal fans. For so many years, we were used to being the kind of team that sort of a feeder club for Barcelona or Man City, that Manchester United could come in and get our best players. Even Chelsea were able to do that. We haven't changed that fundamentally, but now I'd say there's only about 5 or 6 clubs in the world that can come in and outbid us. And Chelsea is one of those clubs, and they're not in the Champions League. So in the Declan Rice affair, they're not even current. He's not going to Newcastle. I don't think he's going to Man United. It's only us and Man City. He's already kind of told Bayern Munich he's not interested. We're already ahead of Bayern Munich. On paper, does it look like it makes any sense? Well, they got Kimmich, and he may not fit in there, and he might not want to go and live in Germany. Might not want to play in the German league. Might want to stay in England. All of that being said, it's all going to come down to one thing, and that one thing is not to do with Edu. People saying that we've underbid. We went in there with a £90 million offer. Do you know what Man City just offered? 90 million. We both offered 75 million with 15 million in add-ons. Their add-ons are just a little bit better. They haven't come in and overbid us. They haven't slapped 110 million on the table and said we're committed to this. I don't think he's their number one priority this summer. I'm not sure Pep Guardiola's back from his holidays yet. If we get gazumped in this, I wouldn't go around blaming Edu Gaspar. I would just say that what it came down to was Declan Rice decided that the chances of winning trophies was better at Man City, and he may be earning a lot more money at Man City and his profile may be higher. But that's what we're up against. We are not the biggest team in this country. Man City are. We're going to have to do everything we can to find replacements if we don't get Declan Rice, and right now that is a hell of a challenge. Not one I really want to think about. I want to think about how nothing has changed today. I want to think about how yesterday we put in a bid. We know we're tabling a third bid, and we know that other teams are interested. But Declan Rice has his heart set on joining Arsenal because he believes in the club and the process, and this is where he wants to be. I still believe that. I still think that's likely, and I really don't know why there is so much panic around Arsenal fans. We do not need to be reading as many news stories. I mean, some of the ways these things are reported is just rehashing, speculating. There are no sources to anything. We are far from a here we go on this one. I'm still quietly confident. I don't see what's changed really. And I look forward to hearing how much you agree or disagree with me in the comments section below. I still answer every single comment, and I've been getting absolutely brilliant ones. Going to do a video over the weekend going through some of the best comments. Please hit subscribe if you haven't yet. And until I see you again, be lucky and lots of love.